Hi. I mean, once again, I forgot to change my action, but what the hell, it doesn't matter. Hey, how's it going? Guess what? It's random squirrel time. There's a few things in this world I don't get, and I'm gonna babble on about them for a bit. And just don't worry about her. She got rambunctious, and took a couple swings, and seeing as how I'm not sexist and shit, and I kind of took offense to it, so poked her in the nose a couple times, and she sat down for a nap, so she'll be okay. And if you're wondering, I don't condone violence against anyone, but I do believe that someone should defend themselves if they genuinely feel threatened. Oh yeah, first thing, if you're, one of my subscribers that actually watches these squirrels, it means you've probably been around for a while and you actually know what the hell they are, so thanks. If you're new, hey, what's up? These are my random squirrels. I blab about shit. Guess it's a vlog, or whatever the hell they call it these days. I don't have a computer or camera or anything like that, so here I am, my GTA self, talking to you about whatever the fuck's on my mind when I'm bored, or when I see something piss me off, or if I want to give you updates. I don't get much to say as far as the updates go. About a third of the way through episode 4 of Bloodbone and Darkness, so that's a good thing. Hope to have that out maybe by the end of the month, if not shortly after, like early September. Also going to start work on episode 12 of Little Gods. And I don't know, whatever the hell else happens to pop into my head. Anyway, I guess this episode I want to talk about things that I just don't fucking get about this world. Not this world, GTA. I get GTA. Makes perfect sense to me. But I don't get kind of the hypocritical nature of like the rules set upon us by the whatever organizing structure we have kind of running shit while we live our lives. And it always seems like it's sort of always hypocritical and has a double standard about certain things. I mean, there's the obvious fucking dichotomy or irony or hypocrisy about the fact that in most places it's perfectly legal to get completely shit-faced on alcohol and to the point where you pass out, you might die from alcohol poisoning. And it generally has an unpleasant effect in excessive quantities on the people who consume it. But smoke a joint and get high, well, fuck, that's bad. That's against the rules. I'm not advocating or trying to put down either choice. Fucking have fun. Try not to hurt yourself or anybody else in the process, but do what you want. But I don't get why one is perfectly fine, given that it does have some side effects and some negative drawbacks, and does cause some societal problems when it's abused. The same could be said for pot. Some people go a little too crazy for it. But I guess that's probably some deeper things going on in their psychology that would make them have like sort of an addictive kind of personality, and that's a whole other thing, and I'm not getting into that. And at least here in the place where I live, probably next year around the same time, smoking a joint, getting high will be legal. At least under medical circumstances. It may even be in recreational circumstances, and I believe that's what they're going to do. And I'm totally fine with that. They finally kind of realized, oh, fuck it, let people get shit-faced downtown every night and run out the street, get hit by cars, get in fights, whatever, right? Drive. I'm not saying people should drive when they're high. I'm just saying it's out there already. Kind of just sort of let people have the responsibility of choosing which way they want to get messed up, and usually if they're high, they're just kind of sitting on their ass doing something, or having a campfire and eating s'mores. You can do the same thing on beer, alcohol, whiskey. It doesn't fucking matter. Just pick your poison, know how to handle it, and don't go over your own limits. Anyway, I got sidetracked in a fucking public service message. Sorry about that. It's been a while since I've done a squirrel, you know. I haven't really had fucking too much fucking to talk about. Too busy working, mowing fucking lawns, and digging weeds at the flower beds, and trying to teach new guys how to do simple shit, like fucking properly line trim a property. Anyway, that's boring as fuck, and I'm sure no one wants to hear about it. Where the hell was I? God damn it. See, that's not good. I just get distracted by a landscaping squirrel. Where the fuck was I? I'm gonna hop out here and, you know, kind of enjoy the scenery and the frogs. See, I don't get the hypocrisy of the world we live in. There's people talking about outlawing sugar. You know. That's another thing, you know, in moderation. Fuck, don't go nuts with it, it won't hurt you. You know, no more than just aging. You know, because it's not like if you just stop doing any of these things, you're gonna live for fucking ever. Just if you do some of them too much, you might die in a shitty way, so, you know. God damn it, really distracted. Oh yeah, so things I don't get. And one of these things that actually spawned my talking about things I don't get was I recently got my license for two-wheel transportation, like bike license, learners anyway. You know, I've had a whole month under my belt of driving around. And I just started small. I've only got like a 200cc scooter. It's kind of a silly looking thing, but you know what? I don't give a fuck. I like driving it. The best analogy I can find for the feeling it gives of driving my Italian scooter named after a beetle is that it's kind of like being naked in public on purpose. You know? Because it's on purpose, you know, it feels kind of liberating and like you're free and it's a new experience and it's a lot of fun. But still in the back of your mind, you're slightly embarrassed by the whole thing. 'Cause, you know, in the end of it all, I'm a grown man on a scooter. Even though it is the same size as a normal motorbike. Anyway. The point is, I was driving around on that thing. And, you know, it's highway legal. That's how I was doing when I was 80 kilometers an hour in an 80 kilometer an hour zone. Which doesn't sound like much considering some street bikes with 300 and whatever kilometers an hour. But for me, a month under my belt, it's plenty. I'm thinking to myself, you know, if I fly off this thing, it's gonna hurt a lot, and I'll probably be pretty fucked up. I was like, it's crazy that it's, you know, I can just go to a parking lot somewhere where somebody set up a couple of pylons and do a couple simple things, and as long as I don't fall off it, you know, it's all good. They're like, all right, cool, here's a piece of paper that says you're allowed to go down the road at 80 kilometers an hour. If I can slap you in the ass, send you on your way. And I'm grateful for it, because I felt I was capable enough to handle city streets and low-level traffic and you know, quiet country roads, so to speak. But I was thinking, you know, it's funny that, you know, it's legal that I can do this, where the chances are if I'm doing, let's say, highway speeds when I get my full license, and I don't fucking know, dump truck blows a tire when I'm passing it. You know, that could flat out take your leg off. And then you're just completely fucked up, if not just dead. And so it's sort of, you know, ironic that smoking pot, for example, I'm just going to keep using that example because it's something everybody can kind of relate to one way or another, or something everyone seems to have an opinion on one way or another. So, I can't do that, but I could smoke cigarettes and probably get lung cancer. Or emphysema at the worst, and have to get that whole thingy cut in my throat. I can drink alcohol, rot my liver, you know, get passed out drunk, fucking die from alcohol poisoning. That's totally cool too. I can get on a motorcycle and I can do 100 kilometers an hour with nothing around me, just riding an engine down the road, basically, right? Yeah, you mean you can get helmets and armor and stuff like that to help you out, and it does help, you know. It's in my future budget plans. But still, the relative chances of death should something go wrong, you know, because let's face it, some people aren't very good drivers, no matter how many wheels are underneath of them. And some of those people get motorcycle licenses. So there's that, totally legal. You know. But if somebody, you know, takes a swing at you and you hit them back, and maybe you hit them harder than you meant to, and they fucking wind up having some serious injury, then for all you know, you might get sued or wind up in jail for it. And it's just like, well, fuck, I wasn't really thinking about it. Just trying to stop this person from hitting me because I didn't want them to fucking hurt me. And it's like you kind of have a right to defend yourself, but you don't. I know, I don't understand that, but they force you to wear a seatbelt so you don't get hurt if you crash your car. You know, and I think seatbelts work. I'm not saying don't wear your fucking seatbelt. You know, especially you got kids and shit. But again, it's something that they enforce there, but in other ways they don't enforce other stuff that's way more likely to fucking kill you. So I just don't fucking get it. Another thing I don't get is people who get all worked up and fucking get their underwear in a fucking knot and set their ball hair on fire in a rage and fury about what other people do with their lives. Not like, not the people who are enraged. Like one guy is like, oh, I'm angry at what this other person is doing with their life that has no effect on my life. Why? Why do people give a shit? Oh, that person had a sex change. So what? I don't care. Are they nice to people? Do they treat other people with respect and let them live their lives in a way that doesn't hurt anyone else? If that's the case, then fucking cool. Go nuts or go without nuts. I don't care. Do your thing. You do you, whoever you happen to be. I think it's about fucking time that everybody in the world just sort of gave up on the whole fucking trying to make everybody else like themselves. I know it makes them feel safe to have a large crowd of people who are just like them, in which case they don't feel threatened or like they stick out. Herd mentality. It's why zebras all look the same, so the predators can't pick them out. The thing is, in a very real way in our world, the predators out there, the muggers, the rapists, the whatever, people who prey on other people in the real world, kind of look for the people who stereotypically fit in every way. I don't know why. I don't prey on people. In some instances, I suppose, because some of them don't explore things outside of their realm. They like their safe little spaces, so they never really want to consider things like the potential of someone else inflicting violence upon them. Never occurs to them to learn how to defend themselves or how to react to dangerous, sudden, and unexpected situations like loss of control in a vehicle. And it's not something that they really enforce here in my country as far as the driver's license is required. You drive around the block and you put your blinker in the right time and you cut your wheels the right way when you park on the hill and you're fucking good, right? Well, what happens if you get in a high-speed slide? Hit a patch of ice you don't expect it, not 100 kilometers an hour. Do you know how to correct for that? Well, it doesn't matter. You know where to turn your blinker on, so here's your license. Go nuts. Right? So it's kind of definitely a what the fuck thing. Just don't get it. I guess what sparked my thought about that was the whole fucking, hold on a sec. I'm gonna preempt the 15-minute thing here. Give me a moment. Okay, so kind of what got me started on the whole fucking, I don't care what other people do with their lives kind of thing, like I don't care if somebody's gay, I don't care if somebody's black, white, Chinese, Korean, Southern Indonesian, fucking, I don't care if they're purple, have tentacles coming out of their ears and breathe through their asshole, as long as, like I said, they're not an asshole. Then I don't care, they should be free to live their lives however they please. So, and anyways, so the thing that sparked kind of one of those, the whole thought there was a big uproar in the States about them. I think they have or are trying to make it illegal or at least unable for transsexuals, like people who are going to or have gone through a sex change, to join the military. And I'm thinking, I can kind of get why they wouldn't allow people who are going to get the change. And there's a specific reason for that has nothing really to do with personal opinion. It's more of a financial concern for the military budget. So hear me out for a sec. It's a logical thing, not an emotional kind of personal response thing. If a person goes into the military and they're accepted, and then, at least from a Canadian perspective, so I was in the Canadian military for a while, and as far as I know, it is still legal for those types of individuals to join. That's fine, I don't care. I'll get to that part too. But the thing is when they join and when they're they graduate from basic or whatever and they get in, once they're members of the Canadian Forces, then the Canadian Forces covers them completely on a medical basis. So if they want to have a sex change operation, at least at the time when I was in, then the military was on the hook for it. Those things are really expensive. And, you know, that kind of drastic surgery and body change, whether a person truly wants it or not, can have traumatic effects. You know, ask anybody who's had major surgery and they're just like, yeah, it takes you a while. It kind of fucks with your head for a bit. You know, just having your body kind of, you know, in a way violated in that way. You know, to have gentle violence inflicted upon it. So that adds a whole new perspective to the government and taxpayers being on the hook for, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of surgery for, I don't know what the percentage of people would be, but let's say it's 100 out of the entire Canadian forces. Well, suddenly that's what, $1 million, $10 million? I don't know. And so that kind of puts a strain on the whole system. Whereas it's only partially covered, I think, by the overall medical system. In a way, I'm not sure what the difference is and what the cost is, but the point is, once they've gone through and they've healed and they've, you know, had a chance to get back to normal again, then as far as I'm concerned, if they can pass basic, if they can prove they have the skills, the temperament, you know, and the self-discipline to be an effective member of the Canadian Forces and not do stupid shit that's gonna, you know, sully the image and the good reputation, as far as I know, of the Canadian Forces and kind of Canada in general, because they will be representing us out in the world when they do whatever they do with the military. Then I don't care. Again, if they're a fucking purple titty monster that breathes through its asshole, as long as it can make it through basic and hit something with it, you know, assault rifle and do its job, fine. You know. So like I said, I just don't get people that get fired up about shit that they haven't stopped to think about. I mean, there is such a thing as logical and important discrimination. And I don't mean that in a racial sense or in a sexual sense or in a negative sense. I mean it in a kind of a literal sense. Because to discriminate is to kind of categorize and make a decision about more than one thing, or you know, to say this fits into this category and that fits into that category for these specific reasons, or I like this or I don't like that. Well, this isn't a like or a dislike sort of statement when you say that when people are hiring for pilot jobs, you know, jobs to fly airplanes, they discriminate, and rightly so. For example, they discriminate against blind people, you know, until they have the technology to let blind people see, or let them, I guess, plug into the airplanes Matrix style and fly them with their mind while they see through the airplane's eyes. They probably shouldn't fly, because, you know, crashing sucks, right? So in that case, it's a logical discrimination based on the requirements of the job at hand. So, you know, I think that certain jobs that require certain specific actions and behaviors and dangers or complex situations should have the right to discriminate very heavily under certain circumstances, as long as those circumstances aren't based on personal choices like religion, sexual orientation, physical orientation, you know, whatever, country of residence, you know, wherever you choose to live or unfortunately are forced to live in some places of the world. These sorts of things shouldn't come into it. So, yeah, got sidetracked. But I think it was a good ramble anyway. That's a couple things I don't get. Trying to think if there's anything else I don't really get. I don't get people making a big fucking deal out of simple, silly fucking bullshit first world problems, that's for sure. You know, I guess part of it is because I do some landscaping for like some high-end condos sometimes. And oh, they're the pickiest people fucking ever. You know, you'll be doing their entire property, and it's up on a hill, and it's always like windy up there, because I mean I live in a kind of a peninsular sort of part of the world, and we're surrounded almost completely by ocean. So it gets fucking windy. You get up on a hill, it's windy, you know, and you mow lawn, and you use a blower to clear off sidewalks with the lawn clippings. Sometimes wind happens and clippings blow up in the air. And I had some old dude yelling off the balcony, fucking at one of my guys, because he was like, "Oh, you're blowing grass in the air." He's just like, "Oh, yeah, I don't know what the fuck you want me to do about it?" It wasn't going anywhere. It was just blowing around, right? right? It was just like, really? Really? You got that little going on in your life that's a problem so bad you want to climb out in your balcony and scream at someone from the 3rd floor? Like, sweet mother of God, I wish my life was that perfect that I could get so upset about simple shit. Well, that's the 3rd thing I don't get. And you know what? 3's a good number. Mystical number if you're into those sorts of things. Mathematically speaking, it's a pretty fantastic number too. That's completely beside the point. Number 3 Squirrel. Not to be confused with the number 2 pencil. Now I'm getting just fucking silly. So anyway, I'm gonna cut her off there before I just start babbling about complete fucking nonsense. Hope you were mildly entertained. Hope you were not offended. That was not my aim. It never is. But like I say, be excellent to one another. Don't stop thinking. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Yeah, alright. Yeah. That's it. I'm done. Throwing down the mic. Have a good one.
On a Saturday night.